Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and today I want to talk about lumber or wood loads for flat cars or lumber yards. All right, but first, it may be a little noisy because I'm running trains. All right, I've got the CB&Q pulling the North Shore Limited, Northern Pacific's North Shore Limited, which they did prototypically from Minneapolis into Chicago, with the Northern Pacific pulling the North Shore Limited between Minneapolis and Seattle, Washington. Okay, I'm also running the California Zephyr, or a Zephyr, which again is CB&Q, the Burlington route. And both of these, oh no, this one is being pulled by a E9, while it's a Proto 2K, while the other is being pulled by an E7, okay, which is also a Proto 2K. Okay? And rather new to the layout. Lumber loads and filling a lumber yard. Okay, you can buy scaled lumber. Matter of fact, I bought these lumber packs. I bought 3 of these recently, and I bought them because they're labeled for Edward Hines lumber, and that's the name of my lumber yard. In Downers Grove, there was a Hines lumber yard, and that's what I'm modeling. And you'll notice the kit from Walters for the lumber yard, I think it's Walton Lumber, there's a whole lot of space in that model to fill up with lumber. All right. And at $15 for 20 little cubes of balsa wood and some wrapping paper, that gets real expensive real quick. And prototypically, I'm not so sure back in the 60s, lumber bales, for lack of a better term, I'm not so sure they were wrapped. I don't remember. Okay? But I bought them to put on a couple of these CB&Q bulkheaded flat cars. And again, $15 to fill up that flat car. And that's fine. It works out well for those flat cars. Makes it easy to pull loads on and off. But filling up a lumber yard, that's a different story. All right. I'm wondering. I just had the Zephyr run by without a train. There it is, back down there. Okay. I'll run her back around, pick it up. So, I came up with an alternative plan. It happened to be my wife's, her she shed, as she calls it. And yes, her name's Cheryl, so it's Cheryl's She Shed, like the commercials. And I happened to notice all this colored construction paper. And I got to thinking, cardstock construction paper, the thickness of it, and I did some calculations, and that is a hell of a lot closer to being prototypical width of plywood or in multi-stages 2x4s, etc. And so I went through and pulled out a few sheets. This is 5 sheets. All right. Now you can buy construction paper, 200 sheets for about $20. All right. What's that? Dime a sheet. So we're looking at 50 cents for 5 sheets. Well, you can cut those 5 sheets up, and you slice them up, and this is based upon my scale ruler and the HO scale on it, these strips, and there's 4 strips here. These strips are 4 feet wide, which is pretty prototypical for stacks of lumber. Whether it be plywood, stacks of 2x4s, whatever, it's going to be 4 foot wide. Then you can measure out what lengths you want. Plywood, 8 foot, standard 4x8 sheets of plywood. All right. And then you layer those together, and you've got a stack of plywood. Okay? You can scribe the top, okay, and all of a sudden you've got a stack of 2x4s, 8 foot long 2x4s. Okay? You can drill, and what I do is I cut these strips 4 at a time. Okay? Just makes it easier. You can do it 2 at a time. It'll be a little bit more accurate, etc. And then a Gorilla Glue stick to glue them together. You could even take and glue 2 sheets at a time together to hold them together while you cut. Whatever makes it easy for you. And I used a paper cutter. We happen to have a paper cutter. You could use an X-Acto knife, whatever works for you. This is probably a little too bright, so you may want to check colors a little more. I know I have like a cream color paint. I may make a wash up and wash this lumber. So, but anyway, that's the plan that I'm going to do, making stacks of lumber, whether it be stacks of plywood, 4x8 sheets of plywood, or other stacks, other lengths of boards, to start to fill this lumber yard here. All right, so that's your tip of the day. Simple, inexpensive, more prototypically accurate than trying to get scale lumber, which, by the way, gets really expensive. Okay, construction paper. All right, that's your tip of the day. I want to thank you for joining me here on the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. Again, I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.